And then bam! The door broke as the 4 fillies all got eaten.
As Rainbow Dash continued to howl with laughter, 3 youngster ponies shiver in fear, in unison at the ending. Applejack just rolled her eyes while comforting Apple Bloom. However, she noticed Rarity's lack of attention to anything, her crystal blue eyes distant, pleadingly staring off into the fire in front of her.
Rarity, you okay?
Rainbow and the fillies seemingly calmed themselves as they turned to the fashionista, who only now seemed to feel the 5 pairs of eyes on her.
Oh, yes, I'm quite all right. Just thinking.
Applejack didn't want to brush off that type of explanation, but Rainbow seemed to think nothing of it. The blue Pegasus gone back to her mood of telling a scary story.
So, Rarity, how you like my story? Pretty spooky, right? Oh yes, terrifying. I was shaking terribly.
The response didn't seem sarcastic, but more of an excuse. Like a filly's or colt's would respond when asked if they were listening, when in reality, they were not.
Oh yeah, well, you tell a scary one then.
Rainbow huffed, crossing her front hooves inside a fence. Rarity thought for a moment and nodded, the purple curls in her mane swaying at the gesture.
Fine. But you must all promise me. Applejack, Apple Bloom, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo, and even you, Sweetie Belle. That what I tell you will not leave the 6 of us. Understood?
Applejack seemed taken aback. Rarity was dead serious about that promise. Even Rainbow was surprised at the seriousness that Rarity had.
We promised Rarity.
The rest of them, Rainbow and the CMC, agreed with a single nod. Rarity took a deep breath, almost as if what she were going to say would trouble her immensely.
It happened a while back. Twilight needed me to stay and look after her library due to Spike falling ill. She was heading to Everfree Forest to get a remedy from Zakora, and told me she'll be back as soon as possible.
The CMC, Rainbow, and Applejack watched Rarity tell her story, seemingly on edge as she spoke. Rarity's voice was hauntingly calm, yet hid that undertone of fear.
And while she was gone, I tidied up the place, checking on Spike every few minutes or so to see if he needed anything. While I was cleaning the foyer, I looked out the window and saw something standing outside, just facing the library.
That caught everyone's attention. The fact that Rarity said something instead of somebody else has made them uneasy.
What? What did you see, Rarity? It was tall, unimaginably tall. It stood on 2 legs and had limbs longer than its own torso. I could not see its face, as it was always facing the ground. At first, I did not know what to think of it, only locking the windows and front door, thinking it would just go away on its own.
Applejack held Apple Bloom close as the description of the monster scared Apple Bloom, Poodle hiding under one of Rainbow's wings. Applejack listened intently. The serious and dark tone of the fashionista's voice made her doubt that she was lying.
I continued cleaning the floor, but I could feel that thing out there. That's when I heard knocking on the door. Was it? I thought it was the creature imitating a pony. So I called out asking who it was. That was when I heard her voice.
Rarity, why is the door locked?
Come on, let me in.
Rarity imitated Twilight's voice to the best of her ability.
In the moment of relief, I ran to the door to open it. When I stopped, something told me to stop. Every fiber of my being said stop.
Rainbow blinked and looked at her. The rest of the fillies also looking confused besides Applejack, already catching on to what happened.
What? Why? If Twilight was out there, and so was the monster, you needed to open the door.
Rainbow said, obviously baffled at Rarity not opening the door for her friend. Applejack began explaining. Her green eyes were shrink in fear from the realization.
Think about it, Rainbow. Why would Twilight need someone to let her in? She could just use her magic to open the door. So why would she need Rarity to do it for her?
Rainbow finally caught on, her ears slowly flattening against her head. The CMC were still confused, but Reddy continued on with the story.
I made the brave decision to look out the peephole. And what greeted me was unspeakable. I saw eyes, yellow, bright eyes. Its mouth was like a slit, with saliva slowly dripping between the tiny teeth lining its inside. But what scared me most was when it talked. It had Twilight's voice.
Rarity, let me in.
Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle whimpered at the voice imitation. Rarity's eyes seemed to become even more distant as she talked.
I fell back, knocking over a stack of books that Twilight had been studying. Whatever was outside heard these and began banging on the door. It kept saying to let it in. I ran to Twilight's room and saw Spike still fast asleep. I began panicking, wondering if a simple door was able to keep that thing outside.
Applejack shivered, knowing what Rarity was feeling, and even Rainbow looked as if she understood the feeling of the situation.
What seemed like hours passed before I heard the front door open. My heart sank, and fear gripped my throat like a vice. What could I do? I did not know any spells to defend myself, like Twilight does. So I picked up multiple things out of the room with my magic. Anything heavy, including Twilight's bed and various bookshelves.
Sweetie Belle was still frightened, but her eyes shone with admiration. Her older sister, who hates even getting dirty, was scared out of her wits, was willing to fight to protect Spike.
I heard footsteps ascending the stairs slowly. Before the bedroom door handle began jiggling, I steeled myself, ready to face whatever was on the other side of the door.
Rarity, why is the library a mess? I'm back from Zaker's place and have Spike's remedy.
At first, I did not know it was truly Twilight or not. But the fear went away once I saw Twilight's familiar form open the door, her purple magic holding onto various medical ingredients.
A wave of relief seemed to wash over every pony at the revelation.
I ran over to Twilight, crying my eyes out and ruining my eyeliner and mascara. I couldn't speak and just continued babbling incoherently.
So what happened next? Now that's why Light was back and the monster's gone.
Scutula spoke up, looking at Rarity.
Twilight just gave Spike the medicine, and then we continued cleaning the mess had created. But when Twilight was organizing the books into a proper placing in the shelves, she asked me something.
You saw it too, didn't you?
Applejack and Rainbow looked at each other before asking what was both on their mind.
She knew about it?
Rarity nodded, looking over at everyone.
When I said I did, she walked over and looked at me with a mix of sympathy and seriousness.
Don't ever acknowledge it, Rarity. Ever.
Rarity finished talking and looked at the others. Everyone got up and hugged the white unicorn.
Did you ever see it again?
Sweetie Belle asked Ed, looking at her older sister. Rarity shook her head, looking at the campfire.
No, I never looked out my window when I was alone. But I do hear it speak sometimes when in with Twilight. The both of us shutting it down. When it kept begging us to let it in.